So I've had it 2 weeks now. We're not in Kingston on Thames, as you can probably tell. We're now in the Canary Islands, in one of the islands called Tenerife. Been here for a few days on holiday and thought I'd bring the Osmo 3 out and put it through its paces. I've taken it up the highest mountain here, which is Mount Teide. It's also a volcano, one of the largest volcanoes in the world. Fortunately, the volcano is dormant here, but not extinct. The last time it was emitting any gases was 7 or 8 years ago, and the last big eruption was about 400 years ago. So I felt reasonably safe. Took the camera up to about 7,500 feet up the mountain. You'll see some of the shots a little bit later on in the film. It's spectacular up there, well above the tree line, well above the clouds. It was just a glorious day for it. So what do I think of the device, having had it for a couple of weeks now and put it through its paces? Well, with one exception, I think it's absolutely superb, and actually a software fix would just get this. So on time-lapse, you can set it to be stationary, so do a time-lapse of a stationary shot, or move from point to point, and it does a time-lapse. What I'd really like is a feature where you can set it up so that it films in normal speed but just does a pan action. So you can set a starting point and an end point and maybe a couple of points in the middle, and it will just pan that distance. Now, some of you will say, well, you could just do this by holding it, couldn't you? And you're absolutely right, but when it's controlled by the software and the electronics, it's just a much smoother feel as it does the panning. So I've used all the features. We've had time-lapse going, and you'll see some fantastic ones of clouds, hyperlapse, video and photo, and even some story, which I'll show you a little bit later. As you can see behind me, we've got a palm tree there. It's waving quite a lot. It's quite windy. I'm hoping the microphone is keeping some of the wind noise out. So all in all, I think this has been absolutely fantastic. I paid £120 for it, and that included the Osmo 3. Plus the three-legged tripod, which, as I said in the earlier video, is really essential because you just can't stand this up without some sort of tripod to hold it, and a little hard carrying case as well. But frankly, I've not used the hard carrying case at all this week. I've just folded it up, chucked it in my rucksack, and it's gone in, it's come out. I haven't exactly abused it, but I haven't really taken particular care of it as well. It just clips down, takes up no room, and it's just been fantastic as a little travelling companion to get out wherever I've actually been. There are a bunch of features you can change in the menu. For instance, your white balance, whether you want active track to work on one click of the back button, or indeed gesture control. And I've turned these on and off, and I've played with them, and they all seem to work really quite well. I'm not going to show you all these features, but I'll take you a quick tour around this hotel complex just to show you some of those features like pano, hyperlapse. Time-lapse is up in the mountains, just so that you can see it all working in action. Those of you who are observant will notice I put my rucksack on because we're going to go for a little walk. First of all, I want to show you the panning. So this is in slow pan mode. I haven't changed any of the default settings, and you can see it pans beautifully around as I move it, sort of around about 270 degrees. Okay, back where we started from. I'll start it again, but I'll put it in sports mode. So it's one click of the trigger and hold down, and it goes into sports mode, and you'll see as I move around, I'm moving a lot quicker. It really does hold that shot, and it pans very quickly. Rock solid. Back to the beginning again, I'm going to put it in lock mode. So it's click and hold the trigger, and as I pan this time, you'll see it holds its shot rather than follows me around. So I've got some screen capture software on here so you can see what I'm doing, and the first thing I'm going to do is put it in track mode. So there we go, tracking my face. Sets me up, follows my face, and as you can see, without me doing anything, it's following me around, which is really good, and it holds on to me quite tightly. As we go for a walk around, you can see it follows on. I can also use the joystick, and I can change the position a little bit, not a lot, so I can position myself slightly higher up. Again, another small feature I'd like an improvement, so that the lateral movement on the joystick when you're in track mode means that you can position the subject a little higher up or lower down, and that's particularly important if you're in portrait mode. So let's try hyperlapse mode now. So I've just got to put this on standby, and now I'll turn to hyperlapse mode. So a double click on the M button puts the camera either into portrait mode or landscape mode. It just flips the mode. So what's my workflow? Well, it might be a double click on the trigger just to recenter the gimbal. It could be a double click on the M button, the power button, to turn it from landscape to portrait mode, or maybe a triple click on the trigger to switch it from front camera to the rear camera. So using those three controls, you can pretty much set the camera up for everything that you want to do. Really easy to use, just takes a little bit of time just to get used to it, so that when you want to take that piece of film really quickly, your head's in the right space just to press the right buttons in the right order. But all in all, it's a really good product. I'm so pleased I bought it. I'm so pleased I upgraded from the Osmo 2. As I said, the only feature that I'd really hoped that they could change was to have a normal speed video where you could actually set the start and end points for it to track and pan. And I think that'd be a really useful feature, and I'm sure they could do that in a future software upgrade. As this is a brand new product, only just on the market the last couple of weeks, I'm sure new software will get released over time. So thanks very much for watching. Really appreciated to have you along. My name's Simon. Please smash the like button, click the subscribe, and I'll bring you some more videos over the coming weeks and months. Thank you, goodbye, have a great day.